For the past 2 decades, Alaska has become one of the favorite places for reality TV producers to film their shows. The documentary show Life Below Zero is one of those shows, which has found great success throughout the years, not only for its high-quality photography and format, but also for the interesting and often mind-blowing stories of its cast members. At the front of the show is Sue Aikens, a woman who spent a good part of her life making it out in the Alaskan wilderness, facing frost-bitingly dangerous temperatures and its often less than friendly wildlife. Nonetheless, her lifestyle has recently changed somewhat, after buying a cabin which isn't as far from civilization as we've become used to seeing her. So, what's the reason behind Sue's move? What about the show and her beginnings as a survivalist? How much is she earning through her TV appearances? Keep watching and listening to find out. Since Life Below Zero premiered in 2013, audiences have seen Sue Aikens' isolated lifestyle in the Alaskan mountains up close. Her Kavik River camp is not only her business, but her home as well. Spending several months a year alone in that place, located 500 miles away from what most would think as civilization. Spending years living closer to the Arctic Ocean and the National Wildlife Refuge than to any city is something that not everyone can endure, even less choose willfully. Though Sue is built differently than most people, and loves her survivalist camp up in the Alaskan mountains, she's also learned to be cautious about the future, and because of this, eventually buying a cabin in Chena, on the outskirts of the city of Fairbanks. As it happens, the property that the Kavik River camp is built on doesn't belong to her, but to the Alaskan government. Aware of the possibility of having her house and business taken away at any time, she purchased a previously abandoned property which has 2 cabins, which she steadily improved by herself, as seen in the show. As Sue also affirmed in the show, her age played a huge factor in her decision to move to the new cabin, making things easier for her future self. Despite her impressive ability to live all year round in an isolated Alaskan location, Sue Aikens is surprisingly not a native of the last frontier state. She was born on 1 July 1963 in Mount Prospect, a village north of Chicago, Illinois. She lived in Palin during her early childhood until the late 1960s, when her mother separated from her father and took Sue and her siblings to Alaska, establishing the family there for some time before returning home, and then to Alaska again in 1975. The last move was a permanent one, allowing Sue to explore and become acquainted with her new environment. Just as Sue told the Chicago Tribune in 2013, she didn't blame her mother for her decision to move the family so far away, despite the difficulties it entailed. Sue also recalled a sourdough, who gave her a rifle and bullets, letting her figure out how to hunt and find food. According to Sue, she did quite well at school back in Chicago, yet Alaska made her realize that the abilities she needed in life weren't learned in a classroom, but somewhere else away from the city. With that being said, a common life with a 9-to-5 job isn't what Sue wanted anyway, as she instead loves the freedom that life in the wilderness provides her. Her appearances in Life Below Zero are undeniably the reason behind Sue Aikens' popularity. Yet the show wasn't her first rodeo on TV. Back in 2010, she appeared in an episode of TLC's Sarah Palin's Alaska, in which she guided Palin as the politician hunted for caribou. In 2011, Sue appeared in a couple of episodes of Flying Wild Alaska, including the first season's premiere, Meet the Tweetos, which put Sue on the radar of TV producers, who came up with the idea for Life Below Zero around 2012. It didn't take long before the show aired, and Sue was pushed into stardom, helped by her fearless attitude and hands-on approach to every challenge put her way, including surviving the attack of a grizzly bear. By the time Sue starred in Life Below Zero, she'd been living in the Kavik River camp for over 16 years, but had been in Alaska for around 3 decades. While it seems unusual for a person who had lived in isolation for so long to want to appear in a TV show, Sue didn't mind much. Her only worry was that the show would be tastefully done, in the sense of not forcing situations for the sake of ratings, as she told the Chicago Tribune. So far, Life Below Zero has aired over 20 seasons, and Sue Aikens has starred in all of them, with still lots of other stories to tell us all. Sue has recently dealt with some difficult health issues, when her old bear bite injury seemingly chimed in, becoming infected again, besides undergoing a surgical procedure to fuse her vertebrae, as she revealed in a Facebook post from early 2024. Fortunately, she's reportedly recovered well from these issues, yet it's for sure that the situation brought up not-so-good memories for Sue, who in 2017 also underwent various surgeries after being forced to perform risky scenes for the show, as a lawsuit she filed at the time stated. Sue's relationship with the show's producers has improved since that unfortunate situation happened, to the point where she's attended the Emmy Awards ceremony a couple of times in representation of Life Below Zero, with the most recent being in 2023. While it's unclear whether the 24th season of the show is in the works, these days Sue splits her time between her cabin in Alaska's mountains and the Kavik River camp, doing what she loves the most. That's exactly what makes her so amazing. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.